Part 1. The Party. Have you ever walked into a room where every eye looked at you, but not with respect, with judgment? This isn't just a story about money or power. It's about what happens when arrogance collides with dignity. And if you believe stories like this deserve to be told, make sure you subscribe so you never miss the next one. Maya Williams wasn't new to the world of wealth. She had built her company from nothing, brick by brick, while fighting prejudice at every step. Tonight, she walked into a glittering ballroom where crystal chandeliers glowed above heads filled with pride and privilege. She wore a deep emerald dress that spoke of quiet strength. But the whispers started as soon as she entered. Not because she wasn't wealthy, not because she didn't belong, but because she was black. The billionaire family hosting the gala, the Prestons, were one of the most powerful in the country. Their empire stretched across industries, and their reputation was as polished as the marble beneath Maya's heels. What they didn't know was that Maya's company was on the verge of finalizing a $5 billion partnership with them. She moved with grace, greeting strangers, but the eyes followed her like shadows. At the bar, one of the Preston sons smirked to his friend. His voice carried, dripping with arrogance. "Surprised they even let her in here. Must be serving, right?" Maya froze for a heartbeat. Not from shock. She had heard words like that all her life. But in this moment, in this room, the weight of it pressed heavier. She kept walking, dignity intact. Later, as the family took the stage to toast their legacy, Mrs. Preston herself gestured toward Maya, her words wrapped in a smile that cut deeper than any insult. "And isn't it wonderful," she said, "how diversity add charm to gatherings like these?" The laughter was polite, but the undertone was cruel. Everyone understood what she meant. Maya raised her glass, not in agreement, but as armor. She knew she had the power to respond, not with anger, not with words shouted across a ballroom, but with a decision, a choice that could ripple far beyond the walls of that party. Because the Prestons didn't yet know who Maya truly was. The next morning, the decision. The Preston family gathered in their boardroom, towering windows overlooking the city skyline. The billion-dollar deal with Maya's company was supposed to be signed that day. They were certain of victory. But Maya walked in with a silence that filled the room louder than any words. She placed the contract folder on the polished oak table. Everyone leaned forward. "Before we begin," Maya said softly, "I want to thank you for the invitation last night." The room shifted uncomfortably. A few forced smiles, a cough, eyes avoiding hers. "You see," she continued, "that ballroom reminded me of something I learned long ago. Money builds walls, but respect builds bridges. And without respect, walls crumble." She slid the folder back into her bag, calm, steady, certain. The Prestons' faces drained of color. Mr. Preston's voice cracked. "Wait, what are you doing?" "I'm walking away," Maya said. $5 billion means nothing if I have to trade my dignity for it." The silence was suffocating. In that moment, every smirk, every whispered insult, every mocking laugh from the night before came crashing back to them. And for the first time, the Prestons realized they hadn't just mocked a guest. They had mocked the very woman who held their future in her hands. Maya stood, her presence commanding the room in a way money never could. She looked each one of them in the eye before walking toward the door. Her final words echoed like thunder. "Respect isn't a favor, it's the foundation. Without it, there is no deal. And she left. The aftermath news of the canceled deal spread like wildfire. Headlines didn't just mention the lost billions. They told the story of a black woman who refused to bow to arrogance. People everywhere celebrated Maya's courage. She became more than a CEO. She became a symbol. And the Prestons? Their empire didn't collapse overnight, but cracks appeared. Investors questioned their values. Partners hesitated. Behind closed doors, regret lingered. As for Maya, she walked taller than ever, because sometimes the greatest victory isn't in what you gain, but in what you refuse to accept. If Maya's courage inspired you tonight, hit subscribe, because we share stories that prove humanity will always be stronger than arrogance.